Thank you. Thank you very much. How many of you are aware of this personality profile called the Enneagram? Do we have any Enneagram fans out there? Raise your hand. My wife raises her hand. Great. Anybody else? Enneagram fan out there? Do you know what your number is? You kind of are. So what's your number? You're a 2. Okay. And you got to remind me what 2s are. What are 2s all about? You're helping. Are you a good helper? You think so? Are you with someone here that would know that you're a good helper or not? No, okay, you're on. We're going to take your word for it. You're a good helper. You look helpful to me. My wife is a 4, and 4s like to be very individualistic. They want to stand out, but then sometimes their standing out makes them feel isolated, so it can get kind of tricky sometimes. But it's okay, because I love her. So my daughter is really a little bit into astrology, which is sort of similar to the Enneagram, but I think the Enneagram's a little more interesting. So she was talking about the horoscope, and I said, Molly, it's not really my thing. I don't really believe in that. And she's like, that's exactly what a Leo would say with a Mercury rising and the house of the fall of Usher. It wasn't quite that, but I wasn't really listening. And so I'm like, I'm just not into it. And she's like, hold on a second. Aren't you the guy that believes that Adam and Eve were actual literal people and that a snake talked to them? I said, well, when you say it like that, it doesn't make sense. But it made sense in my head with the flannel graph. That all worked. So I'm a 7 on the Enneagram. Okay, I got some cheers for that. I like that. A 7 is someone who does not like conflict and wants to have a lot of fun and tries to avoid pain, and I don't understand why anyone would be anything other than a 7. I know some of you out there like conflict, and you frighten me, and I don't want to be anywhere near you. See, when I get nervous, when I get conflict, I get this energy, I get this nervous energy, and I feel like normally what happens is I have to just start doing something. And my wife knows this about me, and she uses it to her advantage. See, I'm here to admit that my wife is actually much smarter than I am. She is a professor at a local university. I'm not allowed to tell you which one, but the initials are GVSU. It gets a laugh every time, sweetie. I know you don't like that joke. Every time it gets... She's like, that joke is so dumb. They know what it stands for. And I'm like, I know, it's Grand Rapids. I don't know what to tell you, baby. So she's got 2 master's degrees, and I collect comic books. Spider-Man. Beep, beep. Hey, don't laugh. Some of those are worth hundreds of cents. But my wife now has figured out a plan, and I've only recently caught on what she's doing. Because I will be in the kitchen, and so I have this nervous energy I get when there's conflict, and normally what I start doing is I start cleaning. So I've noticed she started picking fights with me in areas of the house that need cleaning. Again, she's much smarter than me. I'll be in the kitchen, there'll be a bunch of dishes, and she'll come up and go, hey, sweetie. I'm like, yeah? Have I noticed, have I talked to you about how much you're starting to act like your dad? And the dishes get clean, very spotlessly clean. We might be in the bedroom by some clothes that need to be folded, and she'll come up to me and say, oh, hey, by the way, my parents are coming out for the weekend, and I said that they could stay with us. Yeah, you know what? It's okay, though. The problem is I know what she's doing, and it still works. I can't get away from it. But for those of you who are married out there, you know that marriage is a lot of hard... I was going to say alcohol, but that is a much, much better answer. So my wife is a French professor, and last summer she went to France for 6 weeks. And I thought it would be a great idea to write her a note every day she was gone. And I told her, thank you, can I have a little more of that awe, please? It's very romantic, I know. I thought of this idea 2 weeks before she left. But I did it the day before she actually left, because that's also part of who I am. So I wrote her a lovely note for every day. Some were brief, some were silly, but there was this one. I felt the muse. I felt the romance. I felt the passion. And I got to go out to France to be at the tail end of the trip. And when I got there, of course I asked her about it, because that's what men often do. They say, hey, honey, did you notice I cleaned the garage? You want to come see? And she's like, sure, babe, that's good. Yeah, you did a great job. Good job, buddy. And so I wrote her note for every day she was gone. And I said, did you read the one note? And she said, I did. And I said, what'd you think? She said, it was really good. It was really romantic. I really liked it. And then there was a pause. And when there's a pause, there's a problem. Because then she said, did you have help with that? Did you do that on your own? And I'm like, no, I did that all by myself. What are you talking about? That was all me. Which is true. And then another pause, and then she said, so we've been married 8 years. You could have done that at any time? And I immediately started cleaning the floor. That's my time. Thank you so much. You've been great.